What do you wish people knew about trans women?
I went to primary school in Perth in Scotland, and I used to be quite misbehaved, which I now put down as like more of a cry for help. One of my parents was quite abusive to me, got to the point where she actually deceased my dad when I was like 3 weeks after my 16th birthday.
Oh, wow.
I always had that in the back of my head as well on employment and being trans. It terrified me. Absolutely terrified me. It's not easy in Scotland. I think it might be a wee bit better than England.
Or how has been transgender working within the healthcare?
I just felt like men would use myself as like a fetish almost.
Yeah.
Um,
We hear this
all the time.
We have her partner Brenda in the studio, and we're going to talk about their experience and their dating. Hello, welcome to Trans Crush.
Wow, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Trans Crush, the spicy, fun, and educational podcast where every Thursday we dive deep into lives and stories of trans women. I'm your host, Pevi, and I'm so happy you are here with us today. You are listening, you are watching, wherever you are. Your support means so much to me. Now, our guest today is Renesmé, who is a trans woman from Scotland and who is also a studying nurse. And I'm so happy she is in the studio with us today. Hi, Renesmé. Welcome to Trans Crush.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So happy that you are here, representing Scotland.
Of course.
So excited to get to know you and find out about your journey and your story. And yeah, let's crush it.
Let's go.
So I have a tradition in the podcast, which is the question, what makes you happy? So what makes you happy, Renesmé?
I think what makes me happy is being accepted into society. I think that's like a big thing in this generation. Not to gloat as well, but my man makes me happy.
Nice.
And yeah, just like living life to the fullest, being my authentic self. And yeah.
When did you realize that you were a trans woman?
So I used to always like dress up in my mum's like clothes, makeup. Unfortunately, due to life circumstances, I was supposed to come out when I was 16, but I ended up just postponing and coming out when I was 19. So I kind of put like a thing into my transition
on hold.
Yes.
How was your teenage years like?
And like childhood aspects. So I actually had quite a traumatic childhood. So my parents, well, one of my parents used to be quite abusive towards myself. And I had like social work involvement. I was put in an all-boy boarding school, which had like a huge psychological impact on my mental well-being. And
was it hard because you felt like you didn't belong there, or you didn't like it in general, or because it was all boys?
So I knew that it was different. I didn't really understand a lot about the whole kind of transitioning and what it means to be a trans woman. I just knew about, you've got bisexual and gay. So I just kind of went along with what everyone else was saying. Until obviously got till I was 16, and I was like, no, I'm going to do it on my 16th birthday. I'm going to come out. I'm going to do everyone proud. And then something bad quite happened in my life. So took a step back and didn't really do much.
And the boarding school was what years?
So it was... So I went to primary school in Perth in Scotland. And I used to be quite misbehaved, which I now put down as like more of a cry for help rather than, oh my God, like that's a devil child. That's just so misbehaved because I'm so different now, being on hormones, starting my medical transition.
Yeah.
And then I got put in the boarding school. When when I was about 12, I think. So I don't know what years
Right.
that would
Okay,
be.
so quite early.
Quite early on, yeah. I just used to be, I used to be a
So,
riot at school.
yeah, were you quite like a problematic child?
Yeah,
Yeah.
problematic, yeah, for sure.
What was the crying help for?
So my home life was a main part. One of my parents was quite abusive to me. Got to the point where she actually deceased my dad. When I was like 3 weeks after my 16th birthday.
Oh, wow.
So that was a big thing that happened in my life. And you learn from that, and that kind of throws challenges in your life.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that said person didn't listen to me. So I felt like because you confide in your parents, um, the cry for help was just a general kind of cry for help rather than I need someone to listen to, if that makes sense. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it does make sense.
Yeah.
It's people, especially children or teenagers, when
Mm-hmm.
they are problematic, it's always because they they want like attention, or they want
Mm-hmm.
help, or they want yeah, they want attention and
Yeah, exactly.
someone to help them and stuff. Was there anyone in your those years who really helped you and who was there for you?
So in regards to like children, like my age, no. I felt like I had a lot to do with myself. There was a lot of like boys in my school that were like gay or very experimental, and they were like, "Oh, you're just gay, or you're just bisexual." There was no one that stood out to be trans. So I felt like at that time, I just kind of fit, like had went with the crowd almost, um, which also prolonged me kind of coming out as well. But I think it's quite a difficult situation because I've said to my partner, and I've said to anyone, if I had a child who came out as trans, I personally wouldn't be comfortable with them starting hormones or like doing that kind of medical transition, just because I know how hard it is to go through that.
Is it because like you would try to protect them?
Yes, almost. Like starting hormones, it's essentially going through a second puberty.
Yeah.
And I feel like youngsters at that time, like at a certain age, they already go through enough, then add in something else into the kind of mix. So yeah, I always kind of just think like, how would I, if I knew that I was trans at that age and did things a wee bit different, I don't know how that would go around, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
And you studied hormones what year? Or what
So
age?
I started 2 years ago, so 22. Yeah.
Do you wish you studied your hormones earlier?
I wish there's something at the back of my head that makes me wish that I started hormones when I was younger. Um, but I know from now being on hormones, it's not pleasant. Like you have like really really bad days. So I don't know. Like
Welcome to the womanhood.
I know. One of my friends, they transitioned at 8.
8.
8 years old. They transitioned.
Wow.
And they're living the most like authentic life. But I think, it's not something I would think about being like dismissive, because I would never want my child to feel dismissive. I'd
Yeah.
want them to feel accepted.
Just protection.
Yeah, but I just personally wouldn't go and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get your hormones and stuff like that. Until at least 16, I think.
Sorry?
Until like they're 16, if that makes sense.
Oh, until they're 16.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's not easy in Scotland. I think it might be a wee bit better than England. I always had that in the back of my head as well, on employment and being trans. It terrified me. Absolutely terrified me. Every time like I say pair, people are like Australian, and I was like, do I sound like I'm
I sound
Australian to you?
Australian? Yeah.
Like I'm Scottish, okay, don't forget it.
When you look back at this, what stands out as the biggest challenge or obstacle in your life?
I think in regards to like my childhood and me transition, I think my environment at home stands out the most. And I think that played a big part in a prolonged coming out. I say prolonged, a lot of people don't come out and start hormones until they're older anyway. But I know for me, for sure, I would have started younger.
Yeah.
I feel like being in that environment, being involved in certain people's lives had that impact on a prolonged transition almost.
Yeah.
Kind of rejection, if that makes sense. The felt of rejection because I was already getting rejected anyway. So if I added that to the mix, they're just gonna be like, oh, rejection again.
Another one. Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. Thank you. Yeah. No, it sounds really hard. So how when you study your hormones, are you through NHS or is it private?
Yeah,
Is it
so
easy in Scotland?
it's not easy in Scotland. I think it might be a wee bit better than England. Like waiting list wise.
Okay.
So I came out as trans when I was 19, and I started hormones 3 years later.
Because of the waiting.
Because of the waiting.
So it was not your choice.
It wasn't my choice to start.
So if you wanted to, you would start 19.
Yeah.
But because the waiting was so long, you started 23.
Yeah. I wasn't working. I was doing a course in beauty therapy to kind of try and make myself more feminine. But I felt like I always had that in the back of my head as well on employment and being trans. It terrified me. Absolutely terrified me.
Because you'd be rejected?
Be rejected. And I'm not a big fan on rejection.
Yeah.
Glad that my man never rejected me though. Anyways, but yeah, where was I? Where was I going with this?
The waiting for hormones.
Waiting for hormones and me doing beauty therapy.
Yeah.
So going private wasn't a suitable option for me. So I had no choice to wait for my hormones.
Yeah. So you said you're studying nurse right now.
Yes.
What made you start doing that?
So after doing beauty therapy for 4 years, I wanted to get back to my community. So I know a lot of dolls. It's what we call trans people. Like, you know, the facial fillers, Botox and stuff like that. So initially I was gonna open my own clinic and offer affordable products for those.
Aesthetic medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to do a lot of injections, you need to have a nursing degree behind you.
Yeah.
There's also another path as well, just helping trans people in general, like people that are early transition. I think I thrive in giving back.
Yeah, how to feel confident and deal with gender dysphoria through aesthetic medicine.
Yeah,
that's nice. So, you going to open your salon
in
the future?
I think so. I've got a business plan. I did it a year ago. I haven't worked too much on it just yet. But yeah, I think so. It's been my passion from day one. When I started beauty, I was like, I don't want to be employed by anyone. I've got a fear of employment in the first place. Having my own salon, having my own place, and my own boss, you know, and those that are in the community would never need to be scared of employment or scared to come in. All is welcome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in Scotland and you need some help in the future, you know where to go. Where in Scotland are you based?
Perth.
Perth.
So it's a lot of people don't know about Perth because you also have Perth in Australia.
Of course.
So when
but it's the original one, right? Scottish is the original one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Every time like I say Perth, people are like Australian, and I was like, do I sound like I'm Australian to you?
Yeah.
Like I'm Scottish, okay? Don't forget it. But yeah, it's like in between Edinburgh and Glasgow.
Yeah. So. I was just in Scotland in the summer this year We drove from Inverness to like Dunkeld.
Oh, right, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then to Edinburgh. It was beautiful.
Dunkeld beautiful. I
Beautiful
used
part of
to
the
work
country.
there. I
Yeah.
did. I used to work there. You know Dunkeld House. Don't know
Mm.
if you know it.
I
You probably
just I
don't.
was just there for a day,
But
so
yeah,
I'm
I
not
used to
sure.
work there.
Mm. What would you say to the boss right now?
You look too masculine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna strip search you.
Yeah.
Like what you said as well. There is biological women that look masculine. We've just taken a step backwards.
Yeah.
I read something the other week is why would a rapist pretend to be trans in a society that treats trans people worse than rapists? And that hits so hard.
How would you say, like, from your experience and or experience of other dolls, how is being transgender within, or how has been transgender working within the healthcare?
I think considering the recent Supreme ruling
Mm-hmm.
that's got everyone talking, it's difficult. It's extremely difficult. I'm constantly having a battle on what changing rooms I cannot use. Um, people that are even higher up, so senior charge nurses or band eights or band whatever, they don't even know themselves. Um, they've I've been in a situation where I was just basically told to use a room where a patient uses, which is totally excluding me
Mm-hmm.
from the gender that I identify as.
Who
Um,
told you that?
it was one of the bosses that told me that. So I was working in a said area, and because it was so recent and no one wanted anyone to feel uncomfortable, I wasn't allowed to use the female bathrooms. So I was just basically put into like a wee room that had a toilet, but also had like a bed for a patient because it's like normally a patient's room. Which just made me feel absolutely horrendous. To this day, I don't feel like
It's
enough has been
traumatic.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if you're, first of all, I'm really sorry that it happened. It's traumatic, of course. You know, especially in the beginning of the transition when you want to prove to the whole world and everyone like, I'm a woman. You can't see I'm a woman, and you're trying to prove to society that you're a woman, and it really upsets me because there are women who don't look feminine, who don't present feminine. They don't want to, or their genetics are not feminine, but they are not any less woman than other cis women. And
Exactly.
it's really upsetting that you don't look female enough, so you can't use female bathrooms, whether you are in the beginning of your transition or whether you're a masculine presenting cis woman. What would you say to the boss right now?
There's some things that I would like to say to the boss right now.
I mean, we can
Uh,
beep it.
I just feel like just let us live. Like I know I understand to a extent, but I'm not gonna hurt anyone. Like I'm not gonna go into the female bathrooms to be good. Like let's compare breast size. Like
Yeah.
that's not what I do. Kind of
Okay,
thing.
another question. What would you say to people who say, we have to protect women? You are not allowed, if you're trans, you're not allowed to female bathrooms because we
I
need to protect women.
love this question. People talk about protecting women, but if anything, we have taken a step backwards. The British police are now allowed to strip search trans women. So that means any male that thinks you look too masculine, I'm going to strip search you.
Yeah.
Like what you said as well, there is biological women that look masculine. We've just taken a step backwards.
Yeah.
We have honestly just taken a step backwards, and I feel like this protecting women. I understand where they're coming from because there's a lot of TikTok. I see TikTokers all the time that I feel like just say that they're trans just for clout. But we had that gender recognition certificate that proved
Yeah.
everything, that proved that you know what, that we I've
Yeah,
lost
we
my
just like we
words.
just didn't decide that we're trans. Like we have proof like from a doctor
Yeah,
and all of that. It's
that
not
is
just
not an overnight thing as
yeah.
well.
People who say trans women are just men in wigs. It's like
Exactly.
they actually not.
Exactly.
Even if they were, like they have like a proof from a doctor, like medical transitioner. You're trans. That's your journey. It's not
hmm
just as simple as people think that I'm going to a female bathroom or changing room, put a wig on,
I
and then
I
abuse
read
someone.
I read something. Now let me try and word this correctly. I read something. Why? Because a lot of people say that trans individuals are like rapists, pedophiles. I read something the other week is, why would a rapist pretend to be trans in a society that treats trans people worse than rapists? And that hit so hard.
Wow.
That hit hard.
Tweet tweet. I love it. So good. This is so good.
But yeah,
What do you wish people knew about trans women?
I think we're just trying to live. Honestly, like, we're not here to bother anyone. We are just here to look hyper feminine, like look amazing, get married one day, if that's a male, female, whatever, get married, have a family, do exactly what everyone else is doing. We're not doing anything differently, apart from taking pills and,
Yeah.
just other stuff, but they don't need to know about that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So when you started your transition,
hmm
you said 19, right?
Yeah.
You came on 19. Were you dating at that point at all?
So, yes and no. So I wasn't taken seriously. I felt like I still felt like before I met my boyfriend that I've got now, who treats me the way that I need to be treated. Prior to him, I just felt like men would use myself as like a fetish almost.
Yeah.
Um,
We hear this all the
all the
time.
time, a
Like
fetish.
literally, maybe every second guest on here, they'd say, "Yeah, I've been treated like a fetish." No, it's.
It's
I mean, we're just laughing now,
facts.
but it's a sad reality, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's honestly facts. And I don't think people realize, because I tell people in Perth all the time, they're so oblivious to it. A lot of men, it's not that a lot of men are into trans women, but they just seem to have like a fetish kind of thing about it. And it makes you feel good at the very start of your transition, because you're like, oh my god, like, men like me. But until you find that one, like the one that I found, he doesn't see me as a trans woman, he sees me as a woman I am. So I feel like that's your own journey that you need to discover as well. Take control back. Don't let these men think that they can just worm their way back in and try and use you as a fetish. You take that control back.
Yeah.
And you kind of discover yourself in that sense.
How does the perfect future look for you?
I feel like a lot of trans people. Now, I'm don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I am speaking on like a lot of trans people. I feel like getting married, having kids, having just the perfect stereotypical like family kind of thing. And yeah, I've got that with my boyfriend that I've got currently. It's amazing. Love him.
I'm so excited for you. And actually, we have her partner Brenda in the studio, and we're going to talk about their experience and their dating later on Patreon. But we're just going to introduce Brendan right now. Hi, Brendan. Come and join us.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here.
Hi, baby.
I love you.
Hello, welcome to Trans Crush.
Thank you.
I can't wait to get to know you on a deeper level later on Patreon to find out all about your dating and your story. And those of you who are not on Patreon yet, make sure you go there right after this episode to find out more about Renesmé and Brandon. Well, that was all for today. Well, at least part one with Renesmé. for the part 2. I have to go on Patreon. I'm so happy you are with us today. Thank you so much for your support. I'm going to see you next Thursday. And remember, roses are red, violets are blue. Every Thursday on Transcrash, we going to educate you. Take care. When you swiped, when you matched, was in your bio that you're trans?
They're wrong goal, so I joined a load of different dating apps, and I didn't actually knew that I joined a transgender one until I met Renesmé.
I was delusional at the point. However, being trans now, I haven't exceeded over a month.
Would you say you've had a challenge so far in your relationship?
Even though people might think it's fast, when you look at a normal relationship, you see each other once a week. We see each other once a day.
So would you say hormones saved your life?
If it wasn't for hormones, I'd be in a casket by now.
What was your sex drive before hormones and after hormones and now?